This is the next project I'm going to be working on very soon. It came from the 90s mini truck. Now when I say that, that doesn't mean just because it was made in the 90s or some part was made in the 90s means I'm going to use it and make it look like a Dr. Seuss mobile. Going for kind of something I could have had before I got my license, but couldn't. At my age, I came in kind of behind, just 5 or 6 years behind of the scene when people were really, really heavy into this. I mean, it's all coming back, which is great. But back then, you know, young, not a lot of money. Before social media, the internet, marketplace, where you can find eBay, where you can find things like this for sale now. You know, parts, toppers, wheels. I mean, I'm always finding wheels. But I went to Tennessee about a year and a half ago to get this bed. Is in perfect shape. You know, got a couple little dings on it, but it has no rust at all, straight. This topper, I drove to Ohio. It was a 9-hour drive one way to get this. Some might recognize where it came from. The bed, like I said, it was a 10-hour drive one way to get this. These wheels, I found these wheels at a swap meet for $50, but they were very, very damaged. Lots of curb rash. It was kind of out of my wheelhouse, they say, as the saying goes, but it was kind of the amount of work that they needed. I can get them polished and all that stuff, but they had some bends. And not bad bends, but enough to where they needed professional care or care that I couldn't give them with what I have. But they took them, restored them, fixed all of the curb rash, and polished them up for me. The frame, it's a little dusty right now. It's been sitting over there in the corner for a couple of months. Got the frame all cleaned up, POR 15, all that stuff. Like I said, it's just dusty right now. I got most of the parts. Like I said, it's just dust. Wash right off. New A-arms, bushings, Beltec 5-inch lowering kit, springs, spindles, rear leaf springs. Pretty much took everything off I could and sandblasted it, cleaned it up, painted it, or powder coated what I could and whatnot. Like I said, she could use a good bath. The frame's all clean, pretty much just ready to go. I'm at a standstill now because I need to get it to a paint shop. Again, professional work, and I'm just not set up for it in my shop with the dust and everything that it creates. Why not go to a place where they specialize and that's what they do all day long? New fuel tank. I mean, everything in this thing is new. It looks not that great right this moment, but she's ready to go. It just needs to be painted. I've got every single bolt, everything's bagged, everything's accounted for. All the fenders, hood, doors, all that stuff. No rush, take it easy. But I got everything back here. This is mainly interior pieces. My inner fender wells, they've been powder coated. But I'd like to get maybe some kind of carpet for the bed, something on the topper. Kind of, you know, for that 90s look, maybe do some tweed interior, something like that. But yeah, like I said, just because I'm doing kind of a 90s build doesn't mean that just because every part that came from the 90s should go on it. We're not doing a Dr. Seuss thing, like I said before. This is the engine that I built for it. It's the stock 2.8. It's actually a remanufactured engine that it came out of this thing. This is a 91. I guess at some point in time the engine went, but it's actually bored 30 over. And so I got the correct kit. I got everything in this thing is brand new. New cam, lifters. I even found a set of heads, a set of remanufactured heads with all new valves and guides and all that stuff in it. Took everything off. This is called flash rust, the copper look. But that's all been powder coated. Intake's been powder coated clean. Brackets powder coated. It's like everything on this is new. Well, restored, new. What can be new is new. I'm putting AC in the truck. This was a non-AC truck. So I got all the brackets and stuff for it, but I've got to do a different pulley for it. So I got this. I think this came off. I forgot what it came off of now, but you basically got to make it, and you got to put a flange. You got to put a little bolt back there for where the little nipple would go, so I can put the tensioner on it correctly. But like I said, this truck was non-AC, so everything changes when you go from non-AC to AC, because the pulley that was with it doesn't work. And just how everything's designed. Like I've tried to find a factory stock one, but I had no luck with that either. So, but at any rate, there it is. Like I said, I just got to put the little bolt in the back to make a nipple to bolt it in to where it stays. I mean, I've seen them do it on the old S10 forum, and it works just fine. But I even found some headers for the 2.8. Not really going for horsepower here, obviously 2.8. I mean, I've had plenty of 2.8s. They run just fine. I've had no problems with them. I've never been a super horsepower guy. I mean, you know, fast things are cool, obviously. I wouldn't kick it out of bed. But, hey, I like it to run just how it runs. Everything's kind of just plug and play, bolt on in, and be done. Look pretty good. I'd like to have this done. I guess you can kind of say this is Carlisle 2025 prep. I'd really like to get it done and take it to Mini Nats. Not entering the show, but if it happened, it happened. But to just go and to be able to drive it there. Not saying I'm going to, you know, it would be accepted or anything like that. But so far, like I said, the truck's in good shape. It has no rust. The frame is in good shape. There's nothing falling off of it. Like I said, I got all the panels. The only thing I got to really fix, if you want to, you know, body work, you know, is guess something hit it here at some point. And somebody did a rig on the, can't really see right in there, but somebody did a rig with the door pins and hinges. So got to get that taken care of, but a competent body shop should be able to handle it pretty good. This is the transmissions here. I'm going back with the 5-speed that was in it. Even powder coated the shifter rod to kind of bring the outside in a little bit. I think I want to go with like a really bright red. Nothing like, you know, I don't have the name for it, but it's just like a bright red that you would see from those times, maybe with some graphics, wild graphics down it, something like that. And but yeah, I've got every single thing I need to put it together. Just got to kind of find a body shop. That's been the hardest part, because where I live is really not. The old timers are dying off, or they're taking forever to finish it, because most of the time it's just one guy doing something, and it's just one guy doing the prepping, sanding, painting, and well, people are working out of their garages. Now, you can get a good paint job out of a garage, obviously. Everyone's seen it done. I mean, I can paint and do stuff like this a little bit, but I kind of like that idea of knowing you know, someone better than me did it. But yeah, I would like to have this done by spring. But once it's painted, I get the ground, I'm gonna put some ground effects on it. But once it's painted and back, it's really just a matter of putting it together and just kind of figuring out what interior, how, you know, what color interior I want to do, stuff like that. That shouldn't be super hard. But once I get it back from paint, then I can just kind of roll on it. Then you kind of get a real good idea. I actually got this dash. I've got a non-cracked dash to go into it. Now the guy that brought this to me told me he'd bring me the dash and whatnot, and he said he won't mess with anything on it. He damn sure didn't, because he brought the firewall and everything too. I'm not complaining because, well, I'm not ready to use it right this moment, so all parts are accounted for. But yeah, everything's got some dust on it sitting over here. It is what it is. I've got factory OEM doors, fenders, and everything is factory. So everything should fit decent and not have a big problem with anything. But yeah, definitely like get this stuff running and have it breathing life again. But this truck was actually given to me. I was going to take it and I've got a couple of engines laying around that I've built and done nothing with. I was going to put a 383 in it, kind of just have something to go monkey around with at the drag strip, just goof off, nothing serious, you know. But then once I got the truck here and I got looking at it, nothing has been messed with it. Everything is where it's supposed to be. No wires have been cut. You know, nothing was really, really, really bad on it. Somebody tried to do I can only assume some type of valve adjustment, and it was knocking and whatnot. Well, I mean, you know, ticking, the lifter tap, it had the rocker was jumping around. And I tightened that up, just kind of playing with it, didn't do any like serious, you know, a spec job on it, just enough to shut it up. I mean, it still ran decent, but I was still almost at the point where, well, I just put this V8 in it, go play with it. At least the truck's not going to the scrapper, because it was straight, the grill and everything was straight, nothing on it was beat up. Everything was accounted for. So the more I got looking at it and playing with it, and then one thing kind of went to the other, and I bought these wheels. And I've been looking for a set of these wheels for about 30 years. And the truck kind of formed around the wheels. So I just got this idea and image in my mind of what I want to do. And kind of like I said, have a little 90s build. I'm going to put a Kenwood tape deck in it. I got a gooseneck EQ I'm going to put in it. Those of you that know. Now, obviously there's probably better stuff out there, but again, I want something that, it's weird to say something about, it's weird to use a term for, you know, trucks like this to say period correct, but kind of like something you would see if it was like 1993, 92, you know, to where someone's Christmas morning rolled around and somebody got a new EQ, which is totally obsolete by now, right? By today's standards, but I just think it'll be cool anyway. That's just stuff I like. Like I said, I've never had to have the best. I gotta enjoy it. It's gotta have some soul to it, to me. I've gotta wanna drive it, gotta wanna be around it, you know. I don't care that there's better out there or louder or all that good stuff, because again, I got to put my little mark on it. Now, I think I even got this roll pan. Now, I bought this. I didn't even have a license or a truck when I bought this roll pan. But if you notice here, there's this little slot there. So you can, when you mount this, you can mount it close to your tailgate and the tailgate will swing. If you notice how a lot of them are built, well, all of them are built now, they're just flat across, like the steel ones, all of them. And you got a decent little gap. If you want to open your tailgate, you got to have a decent gap on it. But with this, you can get close and it'll swing in that little pocket right there, which is pretty cool. I haven't seen one of those in years. So that's going on it. I had a picture of, this is some extra parts I got here for my other S10s, and kind of just had it laying around there, but, oh, I see it. Here's a picture. Now, when I show you this picture, those that know, know. And I'm not copying, I'm trying to pay, you know, a little homage, if you will. Now, when I show you this picture, I bet a lot of people out there are going to recognize this right off the bat, because this truck, I think, is it's been a feature in mini trucking, and I met the owner once or twice, and the truck is actually in the process of being resurrected. And I've spoken to him once or twice, and I said, you know, this truck, when I finish it, it's going to have the flavor that yours had in like 1989, I think. I think that's when the feature in the magazine was. But here it is. That's what I'm kind of going after. Get out of the way, shadow. That's what I'm kind of going after. No, it's definitely going to have that flair, but of course, it's not going to be the same truck. And of course, I'm not copying it, you know, bolt for bolt, look for look. But it's going to have that flair, especially the wheels. The wheels here sell it for me. I mean, this right here is the quintessential mini truck for me. And like I said, some people out there might recognize it, and I'm sure you will. But I'll say right now, we're not copying, but with these trucks, it's kind of hard to not get into the same vein with things. Like I said, you know, these wheels right here, it's hard to say, you know, obviously, yeah, this is the same wheels that was on that truck. But, you know, you kind of get the vibe from it. There's, you know, it's kind of like newer vehicles today. There's only so many style of wheels that they have out, so you kind of end up copying per se a lot. You don't mean to sometimes, but you end up doing it. But a square Chevy S10 pickup lowered down with some ground effects, it's kind of hard to not look like one that existed then. But obviously, if you were to see the feature on this truck, you'd see the interior. You would talk to the owner, and I mean, he could tell you stories for days on it. But on the outside, it's really kind of hard to not go into that same vein. You know, you got your topper, your ground effects, the wheels, that right there says it all. But obviously, it's not going to have to be the same, and I wouldn't want it to be the same, because that's whatever. It's going to be what I can make it. But yeah. So kind of actively now, I'd like to have some updates on this in a couple of, maybe a month or two, maybe a couple of months, maybe get it off around maybe November, maybe even sooner than that, but I like to be putting it together in January. Like I said, everything is here for it, everything. I got everything. Been to the junkyard, I got all the AC stuff over there on my benches and shelves and all that stuff. Everything, I've got everything for it. Everything's ready to rock. Still have to finish the seats. I'll give a little walk around of this one day. This is a pretty cool little truck here. But still got to finish the seats in it. And just haven't got around to it. There's a lot going on. Not really. But anyway, we got the powder coated the drive shaft, and here's kind of a wall of parts. It'd be nice to see this wall disappear. Not the wall, but you know what I mean, the stuff on the shelf, and kind of, that means progress is being made. But the Extreme really doesn't need anything. So she's a daily, so we just let her rock. We just fix on her what needs to be fixed. But anyway, kind of jumping off topic here, but yeah, man, it'd be nice to get this straight. Bring back another one to life. That'd be really cool, man. I'd be really excited about that. Let me see what else. I don't think there's nothing else really to say about it. But yeah, well, all new brakes. Everything on the frame is new. All new hardware, all that stuff, fuel lines, everything you need. It just needs to go to a competent body shop. Have someone paint it and put it together. I did the copper, the flash copper. Well, it's called flash rust, I should say. You go with a silver base, then you put the, what is it called, the flash rust over it, and it gives it that kind of like rust, copper appearance. And what it's supposed to do is like that effect, what they call, where you see like a little bit of that gray there. Now you can make it run a lot of ways by how you cure it, but it's kind of, that's what they call like a window effect, to where it doesn't go as deep into like angles and whatnot. You can do it however you want. It kind of comes out different every time for this. Not super different, but it kind of gives it that rust appearance to where everything's not rusted when you got surface rust, but you could actually go a little thicker and let it kind of just run down and do whatever you want it to do. But I kind of like how it turned out, where you can still see a little bit of silver in it. Like I said, new AC. This whole engine is new except for the block. Had the block dropped off at the machine shop. They went through everything, new cam bearings, and just cleaned it up. And freeze plugs, all that stuff. Everything in this thing is new. We reused the throttle body, of course, but we took that off. Had that vapor honed, cleaned out, and all that stuff. So she's ready to go, really. Lube some things up here and there, and be nice to get it sitting in the frame rails. Once it's sitting in the frame rails, that means she's, you're making good progress when you see an engine sitting in the frame rails. Right now we got the engine sitting there, the truck sitting here, and this truck sitting, what do you want from me? But don't want to make you dizzy walking around. But yeah, man, was looking for these for so long. The right offset, deep dish like that. Just a little bit of poke. Kind of like something, like I said, if you look through your magazines, man, you're gonna see what I'm talking about. And the truck kind of builds itself in a way. Once you start kind of getting an idea what you want, it just kind of falls into place. But unfortunately, to bring some things to life, you got to go to see someone that's better at something than you are. I mean, I could easily sand it down, throw some Bondo on it maybe, but I'm not a body guy. I'm sure I'll miss some things. And actually, my problem is I would overthink it. And I would be in here probably till next year just sanding the side of the bed and thinking it's not right or whatever. So it's better to take it to somewhere where that's what they do for a living. Because while they're doing that, and I've got wheels to work on, other things to do, the other projects and whatnot, work, all that good stuff. Like I said, we also did the differential cover, just kind of, it's going to be a driver, but I want it to look as good as I can, but it's still going to be, where I live, everything is about 5, 6, 7 hours away. Like all your big shows. So to drive it, it's going to see some debris from the road film. It's going to get washed a lot, and you know what happens when you wash things a lot, and rubbing on it all the time and stuff. So I want something that you could drive and would clean up and look good, but you're not really, it's not going to be a show winner or nothing like that. But you still want to do the best you can on it and have it look the best you can, and just kind of walk away knowing you did the best you can. So that's it for right now, man. Just kind of tune in. Like I said, hopefully, that's not a word, but hoping time progresses, I get a little bit better at making videos and get somebody to help me with some filming, and that way I can just kind of walk around and guide myself. But thanks for watching if you did. I'll be back with some more soon.